Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to know about evolution of the operating system. And here we are going to know about the 7 types of operating system, starting from serial processing operating system to the real-time operating system. Okay, so first one is serial processing. So here the name itself denotes that only one process is executed at a time, and each process will be executed only once by CPU. Okay, so here no operating system is involved and input is given through punched cards, whereas the output is collected through the printer. If there is any error, it is indicated by lights. Here programmers interacted directly with the hardware, and there is no operating system in this serial processing. Programs are placed in a program counter. Whenever the pointer of the program counter points to the instruction, it will execute. Only one program is executed sequentially at a time from the given series of the programs. And the program is printed on the punched cards that is given as input to the card reader, and output is taken through a printer. If there is any error, it is indicated by displaying the lights. Okay, so in the picture you can see that CPU is going to execute only one job at a time. Starting from the job 1, it will execute. So when the job 1 completely executes, then the CPU will point to the next program. Okay, and here there is no operating system. The CPU will execute. CPU and input output devices are only involved. So we are going to give the input using the punched cards to the system, and the CPU will process the program. Then the output is collected through the printer. If there is any error, it will be indicated through the lights. So next one is the batch processing operating system. In the batch processing operating system, user submits the jobs to a operator who will collect the jobs and batch them as input to the computer, where they will run and produce the output. In this, the jobs of similar type are grouped together and treated as a batch. So in the serial processing operating system, only one process is executed at a time. And in the batch processing, so multiple number of programs are batched. That means the similar type of programs are batched together and given as an input to the operating system. And it is relatively faster than the traditional systems. And here there is no interaction between the system and the admin or user, except for having to whether to initiate the batch job or schedule it for some time in the future. And the example for the batch processing operating system is bank statements and payroll system. See the advantages of the batch processing operating system. It saves the time for loading and unloading of a compiler. See, generally if you want to execute any program, so we have to load the program to the compiler for execution. So since we are grouping the different jobs into a particular batch, so the loading and unloading time of the compiler will be saved, and it reduces the time as we are grouping the jobs here and executing it at a time as a batch. So disadvantages. So in the disadvantages, so here the priority can't be set. The priority can't be set for the jobs, and the CPU may remain idle. Lack of interaction between the. So the first one is the priority can't be set for the jobs. Since we are grouping the jobs, so we can't assign the priority for the particular job. So like which process has to be executed first. Okay, so it can't set the priority for the jobs once the job is given for execution, and we cannot assign a particular job to run first or last. And the And the next one is lack of interaction between the user and his job. Once a batch is submitted for execution, the user is not able to interact with any of his jobs. If a job requires the user to input data during runtime, then user must wait till the other jobs of the batch get executed. This also increases the overall execution time. And another drawback is CPU may remain idle. So here the CPU has to remain idle for a longer amount of time. If the jobs of a batch require some input-output operation, then CPU must wait till the input-output operation gets completed. Since the input-output devices are very slow, CPU may remain idle for a longer time. So CPU cannot take any other job and execute it. Okay. So here we are going to see the picture of the how the batch processing is done. So here the multiple number of users are giving the jobs. Okay, here users are assigning the jobs to a operating system. So here the user 1 is giving job 1, user 2 is giving the job 2, and so on. User n is assigning the job n. So which are collected by the operator, and the operator will batch the jobs based on the similarity. So he's going to cluster the jobs based on the similarity of the jobs, and it is given as the input to the operating system here. Okay, so here in the batch 1 he has grouped the job 1 and job 3. Similarly in the batch 2 he has grouped job 2, 5 and 6. Okay, and these batches are given as input to the operating system. Similar to the serial processing operating system, here also input is given in the format of punched cards through the card reader. Okay, so next one is multi-programming operating system. Here multiple programs are executed concurrently by the processor. So in the previous operating system we have seen only one program is executed at a time in the serial processing and batch processing OS. So here multiple programs are executed by CPU concurrently. A multi-programming OS is a system that allows more than one active user program to be stored in the main memory simultaneously. When one program is waiting for input-output transfer, there is another program ready to utilize the CPU. So it is possible for several jobs to share the time of the CPU. But it is important to note that multi-programming is not defined to be the execution of jobs at the same instance of time. Rather, it does mean that there are number of jobs available to the CPU placed in the main memory, and a portion of one is executed, then a segment of another, and so on. So next one is efficient memory utilization. So programs are swapped between the secondary memory and main memory. When a program should be executed, it is fetched to the main memory for execution. After executing, it is saved to secondary memory. And the next one is it increases the CPU throughput. Throughput means the number of processes executed at a time. So it is increasing the number of programs to be executed at a time. Okay, so now whatever the systems we are using, it supports the multi-programming operating systems. So next one is the time sharing operating system. So it is a logical version of the multi-programming OS. The time sharing operating system also runs multiple programs at a time, but CPU runs user program for only particular amount of time known as time slice or time quantum. It is going to execute the programs in a round robin fashion. So particular time quantum or time slice will be allotted for each and every program given by the user. And the CPU time shared among different processes. Okay, so here the CPU time is equally shared among the different processes. In this environment, a CPU provides computing resources to several users by switching between the tasks so frequently that the user can interact with each program while it is running. A short time slice is allowed for each user and the response time may be expected to be no more than a few seconds. And the advantage of the time sharing operating system: efficient CPU utilization. CPU continuously switches among users very frequently and executes each program for a time quantum which allows the user to utilize it and not allowing CPU to remain idle. And this is a diagram of how the time sharing operating system works. So here, so 5 users are connected to the CPU. They are allotted to the CPU. So let us suppose the time quantum allotted for the CPU, allotted by the CPU for each and every user be 2 units. Okay, here we are allotting the 2 units of time quantum here. So time quantum is 2 units. Okay, and here the user 1 will be executed first. So here the user 1 will be executed first. So next user 2 will be executed for 2 milliseconds of time quantum. Similarly, user 3 will be executed for 2 milliseconds of the time quantum. So next the CPU is now executing the user 4. So currently CPU is executing the user 4. So the next user to be executed is user 5. So now the user 4 is being executed. So the active link will be for the user 5. Okay, for the user 5 the active link will be there. So it is waiting for the CPU execution for the next term. Okay, and here in the time sharing operating system, equal amount of time is allotted for each and every user, that is 2 milliseconds of time, and CPU is going to execute the program for every user for 2 milliseconds of time here. And the main advantage here is the CPU won't remain idle. Okay, so next one. So next one is the parallel system or multiprocessor operating system. Here the system has more than one processor. Okay, so it is also called as a tightly coupled system. Here the system has a more than parallel processing requires multiple processors and all the processor work simultaneously in the system. Here the task is divided into subparts and these subparts are then distributed among the available processors in the system. Parallel processing completes the job on the shortest possible time. And since it is a tightly coupled system, in a computer hardware and software components, so all the components will be dependent here. Okay, all the software and hardware components will be dependent on each other. It has a shared memory and the memory conflicts will occur since a memory is shared by multiple number of processors. Okay, so here we can see that so multiple number of processors are sharing a single memory. So let us understand the parallel system with a simple real-time example. So consider the single processor system as a work assigned to a person. If the given task is finished, then he will take another task. If the given task is shared among more people, then it will be finished fastly by sharing the workload and the people can take new tasks and finish it easily. So this is similar to the parallel processing. And the work assigned for a single person can be considered as a uniprocessor system. And the next operating system is distributed operating system. And one of the real-time example of a distributed OS is internet. So it is also called loosely coupled system. In the loosely coupled system, each processor has its own local memory. A set of input-output devices, distributed applications are running on multiple computers linked by communications. Distributed operating system is scalable. So let us consider the YouTube website. Multiple users will be watching different videos in their system by connecting to the internet all over the world. And distributed OS is so transparent that users will feel as if they were accessing their videos in their local disk. Okay. So the next one is the real-time operating system. So here the distributed operating system, we can see multiple CPUs are working here concurrently using a common network here. The common network is the internet. Okay, using the communication network internet. So multiple computers with a with their own hard disk and processor were interacting with each other. Okay, this one is called as a distributed operating system. So here the common operating system is a distributed operating system. Okay, so each and every system will be having its own CPU, hard disk and memory. And the work will be done in each and every system connected through the common communication link. It can be the internet. So the next one is the real-time operating system. A program that responds to activities in an external system within a maximum time determined by the external system. In the real-time OS, which are designed to service those applications where response time is of the essence in order to prevent error, misrepresentation or even disasters. And examples of real-time OS includes airline reservation system, machine tool control and monitoring of a nuclear power station. The systems in this case are designed to be interrupted by external signals that require the immediate attention of the computer system. These real-time OS are used to control machinery, scientific instruments and industrial systems. A real-time OS typically has very little user interface capability and no end user utilities. A very important of an real-time OS, a very important part of the real-time OS is managing the resources of the computer so that a particular operation executes in precisely the same amount of time every time it occurs. And you can consider the simple example of the real-time OS as the washing machines. Okay, so in the washing machines we can control the washing of the clothes by setting a particular program. Okay, and thanks for watching my video.